Hello everyone! Good morning and welcome here to my sofa in the romantic Tetuan neighborhood in Madrid, Spain. Today I have a very special video for you with a very special woman. I have Venus O'Hara, who is a beautiful, talented ginger. She's a sex blogger, she's a fetish blogger, she's a sex toy tester, and she's the author of several books, including one of my favorite English textbooks of all time, English for Perverts, which is available, at least it was available in Spanish under the title Inglés para Pervertidos, and it's a bilingual guide to sexy vocabulary in English. It's a great book. Hopefully she will be able to do a second or third edition or whatever and get copies back to the public, and that will be great because it's a classic in education. So this is my first time recording an interview on Skype. You might notice that the image quality is not amazing, that the sound quality is a little bit distorted, but in the end you can hear everything, you can understand basically everything, and we talk about a lot of different things in this interview. We talk about why Venus loves Spain. We talk about some of her favorite Spanish expressions to talk about sex. We talk about her experiences with hookup culture, online dating, Tinder. We talk about the life of a sex toy tester a little bit. Yes, sex toy tester is a real job, and Venus O'Hara does it. There's maybe not more than 5 people in the world doing this job, and she's one of the top ones. And we've been friends for a few years, so I'm very happy to have Venus on my channel today. And nothing else. I hope you enjoy this video, and head to my website expatmadrid.com if you're looking for a lot more about life in Madrid and Spain. See you on the other side. So hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss Venus O'Hara.
Daniel Welsh in the Barrio Romantico de Tetuan.
Yeah, that's me. You're up in Barcelona, I guess, right?
Yeah, the sun's just come up.
All right.
Yeah.
And, yeah, how's life in Barcelona today?
Well, great. I was in my co-working this morning. So I was with some like-minded freelancers. So that's always good to get you going, to get you motivated.
Sounds good. All right. You work hard up there as a fetish blogger?
I actually use those opportunities to hustle and just send emails to generate new business, because I find that just meeting new people really, really inspires me a lot. So I find just getting out of the apartment and meeting these digital nomads, location-dependent people just really gets me inspired with my own journey. And so that's a good time to be in the headspace of emailing. I'm sorry if there's some drilling next door.
Is it actual drilling on your side of it?
So my sex toy testing's nothing compared to this. There's refurbishment next door, upstairs, downstairs. It's all going on the last few months.
Mine's only in the street, so it's a little bit easier. Well, I figured I could start by telling you how I know about you. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I might have.
Inglés para Pervertidos, no?
Yeah, I was just in a bookshop here in Madrid a few years ago, and I came across a copy of your book, Inglés para Pervertidos. And I thought it was the greatest thing ever for 2 reasons. One, because we're both gingers, and gingers need to, stick together. And 2, because as a teacher, I had always thought that, grammar is just grammar. The present perfect is always the present perfect, but you can make it so much more interesting by making it about things people actually care about,
Yeah, definitely.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So,
definitely.
And that's exactly what your book did. I learned a lot of vocabulary about stuff I didn't know very much about.
Me too, when I was writing it.
Yeah?
I had to research each topic.
You were like, what is dogging?
The Urban Dictionary was a big help.
Oh yeah, I use Urban Dictionary quite a bit for what I do, and my thing is not nearly as risque as yours. But yeah, from there, I think I tweeted to you a couple of times and was happy that you got back to me, and we've been talking for a few years now, at least.
Yeah,
So,
I met you the year after in 2014.
Possibly, yeah. Wow, time flies. Well, so thanks for being on here with me today. I wanted to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
And just before, I want to tell you, I have been using your books with some of my private classes.
Oh yeah, that's okay. That's another thing. You took a photo of yourself with my books covering your breasts, which was also one of the greatest things ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I use those books, and my students actually bought them. So yeah, we use those books. That's the great thing about my book and your book, is that they're for Spanish people learning English, because it's very hard to get books that are bilingual. You know, a lot of the English books are just in English, rather than explaining things in Spanish. I know that's frowned upon in TEFL world. Well, it was when I was doing it, but I think you can just explain things a lot quicker sometimes.
Yeah, and you know that they understand what you're talking about if you can explain it to them a bit in Spanish. Otherwise, it's kind of hit or miss. Like, what are they actually understanding?
I use humor as well. So
yeah, I try. I do what I can. So, why Spain?
Why Spain? Well, my first foreign love was France. And I studied French at university, and I went to Paris for my year abroad. And I was living on my own in a little apartment next to Place des Vosges, Bastille, which was all very nice. But at the time, I was not used to spending time alone. So my weekends were quite hard, and I was doing an internship, so I was leaving an office on a Friday and not seeing anyone until Monday.
Oh, wow.
And so I decided for my social life, I needed to do French classes for foreigners, and that's what really changed my life. And I met I met lots of Latino people, Colombians, Argentinians, Spaniards, and that's what really made me I got Latin fever, I guess, and I wanted to learn Spanish, and I learned salsa. I went to Colombia. Wow. So, I listened to lots of Ricky Martin, Enrique Iglesias. And I came here hoping to find all of that.
Did you find all that here?
No, it's quite funny because I went to Madrid first of all, and I didn't find that Madrid had that kind of, I don't know. It just didn't really have what I was looking for at the time, but I had a fantastic time there. And I think that, when you spend a long time anywhere, you stop generalizing and you see that people are all kind of the same, really,
Yeah.
So I was less impressed with the Enrique and the kind of Ricky Martin. I just thought they're kind of everywhere, really.
Yeah, I guess so. Once you see enough Spanish people, I don't know, it stops being like super exotic. I get these shy people,
extroverts, just like anywhere. So
yeah, no, I mean, I'm walking around sometimes and I see a reflection of myself, and I'm like, Jesus, who's that guy? Because I just look around all day. You don't see a lot of big ginger guys, so I figure I just look like everybody else. And when I actually see myself being taller and with this enormous, ridiculous beard, it's just like, wow, okay.
Exotico.
Yeah. So what do you love about Spain?
It's just easy, because I lived in Paris, and that was very hard for the first few months. Obviously, I think being 20 as well is a harder time to spend time on your own. But I've never felt lonely in Spain, even though I didn't speak the language when I first came. I just think, I guess, the way people socialize, maybe less so in Barcelona, but I love the daylight. I love the mild winters. I was in Barcelona. Winters are fantastic. And I just find that it's easier. Well, now with time, as time's gone by, I find it's easier to live an unscripted life here, especially in Barcelona, because there's a huge expat community, and I've not followed the script of life of mortgage, house, marriage, kids, and all of that. And I find that being in Barcelona makes me makes that more normal
Yeah,
to
okay.
follow the script.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it exactly that way, but I would say the same thing. I love that being here, there's not a lot of pressure on me to be like normal because
Exactly.
I'm already not normal, so nobody's like, Daniel, when are you going to buy a house and a car and, you know, have babies and stuff. So I just kind of escaped from a lot of that social pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So you live in Barcelona. Do you like Barcelona more than Madrid, or are you just there for convenience, or?
Well, yeah, definitely. I first went to Madrid because I wanted to learn Spanish in a place where they only spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
So I achieved that, and then my heart was kind of I wanted to live in Barcelona because of the cosmopolitan aspect of it. I just love all the foreign ambience here, and it's a lot more international, I guess, and the sea as well.
Yeah.
And so, but at first, I wanted to escape the teaching world when I first got here.
I understand that.
So there's a lot of international companies here. So I was working in different things like export sales and luxury real estate. So I was using my French then as well, my French, my English, and really enjoying it.
Great. And outside of Barcelona, do you have any favorite places in Spain?
I love going to Madrid now. I love going on the AVE to Madrid.
Oh yeah, the AVE is the best travel experience ever.
Yeah, I love it. And so it's nice to go back to my life in Madrid sometimes and even stay in the same room that I had.
Oh yeah?
That's really funny. And I've kept in contact with my friends from Madrid. And also I just love discovering other parts of Spain. There's still parts I haven't discovered yet. I was in Cordoba, Malaga last year and for the first time, and Mallorca, which I can't believe I haven't been there before because that's literally up and down on the plane. It's fantastic. There's not even time to serve a drink. It's that close.
Wow.
So I just can't believe I haven't been traveling all around Spain. I think you've got everything in Spain, really. And I would like to discover Canary Islands. I haven't been there.
I was there last year. It was really nice. I was just on Gran Canaria in the capital, but even that was just great. Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm looking for. I want to avoid Tenerife. I just want to get somewhere more chilled out. And the great thing is about life now, 2017, is that there's lots of digital nomad communities popping up everywhere. So there's lots of co-working spaces, even in Fuerteventura, Gran Canaria. There's you can find an international vibe, or you can go on a yoga retreat, or you can go on a co-workation.
For sure. Sounds cool. So one of my most popular articles recently is about dating Spanish women.
Yeah.
And I made a bunch of ridiculous generalizations about dating Spanish women. I wanted to know if you've had any experience dating Spanish men and what you've learned or noticed about Spanish men versus English men or whatever.
I don't remember dating English men, so I've really been quite well integrated since I've been here. So I've just been mainly with Spanish guys the whole time, but I'm not really on the typical dating scene. I'm too scared to go on Tinder or anything like that because I don't like the idea of my location being, or just people knowing how far away I am. Or recognizing me on my profile picture, because I do get recognized in the street now. I get tweets, I saw you on blah blah street. So it's a bit, imagine the times that people recognize me and don't find out about it. So
yeah.
I think that's far too risky, really. So I tend to just try and be as social as I can in a normal life, and hope that will be the way to meet people. It's kind of old school, really.
I actually got off online dating when people, like my fans from YouTube, started seeing me online. And, it was just weird. I don't know. So I thought that was time to quit online dating and just be more sociable in real life.
Yes, offline dating.
Offline dating, just like in the 90s. Yeah. So, but anything you've noticed about dating Spanish men or no?
I don't think I could put it down to Spain. I think it's happening all over, this hookup culture, and that nowadays, like out for a meal, that's all gone. Forget that. It's a coffee these days, or even in some cases, just I mean, not me personally, but I think a coffee is a kind of general thing because then it's less commitment if you don't.
Yeah.
The person.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a pain, you know, because you've got to spend the whole time and then it's expensive and who pays. It's just too much of a commitment if you've not met before. So
yeah, all the ways of dating have changed also.
And also you can be virtually unfaithful or promiscuous and no one cares. For example, you can be on your sofa without showering and you can be chatting with several people at the same time. You know?
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah.
And people don't really care as much, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
In the very first stages, because that's the moment when you like someone's profile picture or whatever, and then you get to actually trying to meet up in person. You have to seduce someone with your words and your wit.
Yeah, it's sometimes kind of challenging, but hey, let's see.
But I do like that. I've lived it in other ways, I guess, on Twitter or other people who have also got a media presence. I'm more open to that.
Yeah.
Actually. And that's been easier for me because I don't have to explain what I do and then have this big shock and oh my God, and people get, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Well, not exactly what you mean because I don't do exactly what you do, but yeah, having to be on like first dates with girls and explain to them that no, I don't have a job and I'm not looking for one and I just publish stuff on the internet. It sometimes seems like, yeah, a little bit embarrassing if I don't figure out how to explain it right. It just doesn't sound impressive. And so I'm like...
It depends how you explain it because it can be very impressive because at the end of the day, you're your own boss.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember one girl being like, so other guys have these standard jobs. What are you doing?
Well, I actually prefer a guy who doesn't have a standard job. I want someone who can meet me on a Tuesday and take me for lunch on a Tuesday and not have to be running back to the office. Because one thing I do hate as well are ties. That's a symbol of corporate slavery for me. And the guys who go work with their ties, they're not really the leaders for me. I just think... I don't know, I prefer someone who has a messy car and doesn't care and that kind of thing.
Great. So, what made you start your career in modeling?
I was working in a printer in the export department of a printer here in Spain, and I thought it would be a good idea to target erotic and fetish publishers in London, and that's how it all started really. So I started printing erotic books and I got quite friendly with my clients and then sent them some selfies when technology was evolving with digital phones and then that's how it all began. And I started modeling for one of my clients in London. And I just loved it so much that I started doing collaborations here in Barcelona with photographers. And I had this big collection of photos, and then in 2009 I decided to make a photo blog out of it, and that's how venusohara.org was born.
Like, I remember I started my blog because it was like summer and my income was down towards, very close to zero, and I was like, gotta pay my rent somehow and, feed myself through this long English teacher summer. And I remember you telling some story about something similar up in Barcelona.
Definitely. This happened over summer, but I've had lots of hard summers in Spain because for me, August is one of the hardest months in Spain because especially if you're your own boss, even if you're in a company, it's just you have to take your holiday that month, and I really hate that. Yeah. So what happened with me is I was working in real estate and I was commission only. And it was 2009, so it was
right when the economy collapsed.
Everything was terrible, and I didn't sell anything for 4 months. and I had a rat invasion in my building.
This is what I remember from the
So
story.
it was just absolutely terrible because it was August and the heat. I had to close everything, and every time I heard this like scratch, I was like, oh my god. And I just thought, I was up to that point, I'd been afraid of the thought of, you know, people see my ass online, or, you know, I really was. But then I remember one day I saw 300 people on my website. I was freaking out, you know. But now I'll be like, only, you know. So so it was a gradual process, because at the end of the day, I'm really putting myself out there. It's not just what I'm writing, I'm also putting my image out there, my whole life, because I really believe in what I'm doing, and I'm sacrificing a lot of things for it. So it was a really, really hardcore. So I was living a lot of extreme things: family deaths, no money, no food, poison, rat poison before food. And then I sold 2 apartments. And with that money, I just thought, no more real estate. I just got the money and then set up my blog and thought, it's now or never, just follow my dream.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's great. So let me see what my next question is. Oh yeah, why sex and fetish modeling specifically?
Well, when I had this big collection of photos, it was just a natural thing. They were all fetish, like say blindfold. They were non-explicit photos, because I like the idea of, I'm not just a model, I'm my own art director. So when I see the picture, I see, is that what I want to do? I'm not just standing there following instructions. So, and I feel like I've always been an artist as well. So just right now I am my own muse as well. And I like the idea of me not doing anything, but if you think my photo is provocative, it's because of what's in your mind, not because of me. I like that type of interaction with the spectator. So it can be like, let's say, a blindfold picture with, so where you don't see anything, but that could be an erotic image. And also, it's just also a rebellion against all these women's magazines with all this Photoshop, surgery. Everything's fake now. There's fake hair, fake eyebrows, fake eyelashes, fake tan, fake tits, fake ass. It's just, and I'm just that. I think a lot of asses are fake. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's so disappointing.
More and more. And I think the ass is kind of becoming the center of attention in a lot of ways. And but it's just a lot of fake stuff. And there's nothing. I just watched a makeup tutorial online now, and I just think, how can that be empowering? Having to wear all this. I know I'm wearing makeup now, but I try to keep it as a minimum, like 6 products. So maybe I'll do a tutorial about that. But I wanted to just show female body or female whatever in an erotic way, but natural way, no Photoshop.
Yeah. Like, one of the things that I have gotten from you is that you really think that sex is empowering and orgasms are empowering for women. Why do you think that? Like, what's the reasoning behind that?
Because it was for me, and I think women are orgasmically superior in the sense that we have not superior, don't say that badly, it sounds terrible, but we have more capacity, orgasmic capacity than men.
I agree.
And there's no doubt about that. A woman who's in control, who's connected to her body, like the mind-body connection, the mind-clitoris connection, I think that type of woman can really have more orgasms than a man. And I think it's a huge pity that anorgasmia, which is affecting so many women who can't have orgasms. Yeah, because it might not be as obvious for us to reach orgasms, and like most males can do it by the time they're 15, you know. But I don't think a lot of women
get 2 minutes or less.
Not have and not know. So that's my mission in life. I want to tell people that they have a Ferrari between their legs and they need to know how to start this engine up. So that's the.
I love that in so many ways.
Raising orgasmic awareness is my mission.
Raising orgasmic awareness.
And also the orgasm for me is not just about sexual pleasure. I mean, I was at my parents' house this summer and it was really hard to sleep because it's been 6 years since I'd been back. So I got my vibrator out, the quietest one, of course, and that was just literally an insomnia cure because it's like muscle relaxant. So, and also just for period pain, it's like an orgasm is like 2 hours of pain relief. So it's like half a paracetamol. And even for me with writer's block, I'll just lie down and take my phone with me and just use a vibrator, and then I'll just kind of like send myself an email, and then I'll get, oh yeah, everything's clear again when I'm horizontal. So I get back to my desk and then it's all good, I can carry on now. So I use orgasm for lots of different therapies. I guess I'm using myself, my life is my message, I guess.
You think it's therapeutic then, in different ways?
Sorry?
You think it's therapeutic in different ways?
Definitely. So it's not just sexual. Also, but when you're talking about sex, it's also great as well, because if you can bring yourself to orgasm, then you're going to have a better sex life. You're going to be able to communicate what you like more with your partner. It's going to be a more fulfilling experience, both of you, I think.
So tell me a little bit more about the mind-clitoris connection and how I can give women...
That sounds really good, doesn't it?
Bigger and better orgasms.
So, yeah, I think it's learning how to fantasize would be my own technique. So that's just that's really key to having an orgasm, is just thinking about what turns you on, emptying your mind from day-to-day worries. And that's why it's a great thing for insomnia, because it just distracts your mind.
Yeah.
You're thinking about certain fantasies or...
That's interesting, because I remember when I discovered your blog with like the long list of fetishes, I was thinking, I'm pretty sure I have 0 of these fetishes. Because, you know, there's things I like and things that I had never considered and things that I don't like, but, you know, I don't possibly have like a really well-developed, you know, list of fantasies that I'm, you know, a bucket list of things that I needed to do.
For me, it was as a model, these were all the kind of images I wanted to take. Like really get into the neck or nape fetish, which is really popular fetish in Japan.
Nape fetish, like good back of your neck?
Yeah. So I find that's a really cool challenge, to make something that's not explicit, like take a photo that will make someone want to bite it, you know? That's the kind of imagery I like to, because when I see normal imagery like and all this kind of really slutty, porny type stuff, I don't relate to it at all.
Yeah.
It's not that's not what I want to do. I'm not trying to tease my spectator. It's purely an expression, my own expression, you know.
This is kind of off topic, but have you noticed like differences in what people's fetishes are according to the country? You said neck fetishes in Japan, but...
Well, I've read about that, but I don't know that firsthand. I don't know really, but I would say foot fetish is probably the most popular one, and that would be global.
I've seen all of your photos of feet in different positions. I think it's different, something I hadn't really considered.
A really amazing experience for me, because it all started off as I had all these fetishes on my blog, and I had a couple of my feet. I didn't like my feet because they were wide and they go a bit pink. You know, you might probably know. I mean, and I remember one day I was walking down the street and looking at other people's feet in sandals, and thinking everyone's got nicer feet than me. And so when I started sharing pictures of my feet and getting massive, really good feedback, I realized that fetishism is about it's about how you interact with your spectator and play with them, provoke them almost. It's like, I know your kink. For example, there's a pose to make your soles wrinkle. That's something that a fetishist would appreciate, but not a normal person, because if you look at feet, foot products or something, an advertisement, it would be all a perfect foot. But if you go to a foot fetish forum, you'll see all types of feet. Huh. So I find that really liberating, and I find that it's the complete opposite from all these magazines that try and be perfect with Photoshop and surgery. And fetishist is appreciating what's already there. Yeah. Truly, and I find that really liberating as a model, as a woman. In terms of my concepts of beauty, I really appreciate natural beauty and appreciating things that are not conventionally beautiful.
Sounds great. We need more of that. So, you're a blogger, a video blogger on Antena 3, is that correct?
Yeah.
You are La Sex Teacher.
Yeah, La Sex Teacher.
And I was going to say that I really love how you use Spanglish in these videos, because you start, you're like, hello students, I'm Venus O'Hara y en la clase de this week. And you do so much
in my opinion,
Spanglish. What's up?
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah.
Sería una good idea.
Sería una good idea. Yeah. So how did you choose that persona for the sex teacher?
Well, I'd done an interview for El Mundo, and someone in Antena 3 told me, well, I'd already had the offer to do the blog, and by this point, and they said, you've got to do more videos. And I was sitting at home with all my hair like this, and I'm a bit shy to just, turn the computer on and record myself, because I am quite a shy person, even though no one else seen it, but especially on video.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if I actually wear glasses and wear a vintage hairdo and a blouse, then I won't feel like it won't be so hard to do, because I was like playing a persona.
So you're like playing a persona in that sense, that it helps you to distance yourself from all of that.
Yeah, and it helped me overcome the camera shyness. But I've been gradually, at first it was all scripted, and now it's just freestyle. So I've really evolved a lot on camera. I've learned a lot from it. So I've been a student as well.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened with me, but I'm pretty sure my first 150 videos were terrible. And then sometime around 150 to 200, they just got better somehow. And now I think I do pretty well.
How many videos have you got?
Actually published on YouTube, almost 400 now.
Oh, wow.
But I look back at the old ones, and it's just embarrassing how bad. And a lot of it's just like my personal expressiveness, like my gestures or whatever that I was doing, how nervous I probably was in front of the camera. And now it's just like, whatever. Got 10 minutes, I'm going to record something and publish it, and I feel a lot more confident just to start out.
So. Yeah, I totally relate to that, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, mine was all scripted, so imagine that.
Oh, yeah. We talked also a while ago, you do a lot more takes than I do. Mine's just usually like, I just go for it.
Yeah, because in a lot of the product videos, I have to include a lot of technical stuff, so there's no way I can remember it all.
Technical stuff, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like made from silicone, or blah, 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 10 speeds.
Okay, so it's not like, you're not like reading the spec sheet or anything, but the basic stuff.
Yeah, I've got a script, it kind of just a bullet points, so I try and elaborate each point. So.
Great. Well, you have two book titles, actually, that I really like. You have one that's like, Amame como si me odiaras.
Deséame como si me odiaras.
Deséame como si me odiaras, which, like...
Yeah, you hate me.
Is there an English version of this?
Yeah, it's in English, love me like you hate me.
Love me like you hate me. I think it sounds a little bit better in Spanish.
Yeah.
But yeah, love me like you hate me is pretty good too. And the other one is La Máscara de Venus, the Mask of Venus. So can you tell me a little bit about those titles and what those books mean to you?
Well, the first one, Deséame como si me odiaras, is a BDSM guide. So it's like an introduction to BDSM for.
Wow, there you go.
It's really light and accessible. So it's nothing like 50 Shades of Grey, because my personal approach is, it sounds good in Spanish, Bdsm con humor y sin dolor. So I like, for example, humorous role plays, that kind of thing, like being told off by the
you be the sex student, yeah.
Yeah, being very naughty, getting punished. So I think BDSM's got huge humoristic, fun potential that people don't exploit. It's not all about dark and kind of strange activity. It can be fun and with no pain at all,
Yeah. I've never read 50 Shades of Grey except for the first couple of pages, but I imagine it being kind of like dark, painful, humiliating stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, when I read a sex scene, I'm always bored by it, the actual description of what's going on. And even if it's BDSM, I just find it, oh my God, there's just no way to turn on. Not at all.
Okay, interesting. And what about The Mask of Venus?
Well, that's my erotic memoirs. I'm up to the point of the rat infestation. So
it's all before the rat infestation. Everything that happened after that is...
Well, I'm hoping that hopefully we'll get another book at some point.
Wow.
I did that on purpose, just to stop at that point, because actually it's a natural time to stop. So that's why it's called The Mask of Venus as well. It's I think people think of masks as something to hide yourself.
Yeah.
But for me, the point of it is that when I wear my Mask of Venus, I'm more me than ever before, because it would give you the power to really express your desires. Because you're taking your image away almost. Do
you have a literal mask that you're talking about here?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Oh, okay, so you have a literal mask that you put...
Well, it's like when I was talking about the sex teacher just now, like, I'm wearing a mask almost, so that mask allows me to maybe express more than just being me. And I think also in a role play, I mean, I'm quite a shy person. I consider myself to be a good person, but I can be a real bitch if we do a role play. And that can be really liberating, you know? So you can explore different parts of you that don't come out normally.
Yeah, I assume that's the point of all of this for most people that do it. They get to be the person that they don't want to be at the office or whatever.
Yeah.
You can let that person out for a couple of hours and go back to the office happier the next day or whatever. Sounds good. So let's see. So what's the wildest thing you've ever done as a fetish model or sex toy tester?
I think masturbating in the University of Barcelona was quite intense.
That was my next question. You talked about masturbating for science. The day that I masturbated for science. So what did you learn, and what were the scientists hoping to learn from this?
Well, it was all for a TV pilot, so I guess they wanted some juicy content, and I wanted to explore that as well, because I think in sex blogging world, or in any blogging world, there's just a lot of repetition, a lot of copy and paste and paraphrasing of the same content, which is great because the message gets diluted, or just like the message gets stronger, but it reaches more people. But I just want to do stuff that in first person that's unique. I'm trying to be original, even though originality doesn't really exist. so I don't know anyone else has masturbated for science yet, but it was a unique opportunity, and to tell that.
But were they like hooking electrodes up to you and watching your brain?
Yeah, I had electrodes on my chest. I had a mask on, an oxygen mask, and I had this thing on my finger, and then behind this curtain, so that there were some scientists looking at these screens and beep beep. So I had to really concentrate.
Looking at the data on the screens, they weren't actually watching you masturbate.
No, but I had one of them by my side. So it's almost like a birth, and I had people outside the door making sure no one was going to come in. So yeah, it was like a test of my concentration, really, and how good are my fantasies. So it took 25 minutes. It did take a long time, but I'd reached it in the end. And the pressure, I mean, that is a serious amount of pressure. I had 11 people. You know, normally in a normal situation of sex, like one person is just like, you know, if she comes, great. If she doesn't, I had to come for them.
Wow.
For 11 people. So, and also making a sex toy, because I've had to test prototypes and give feedback to engineers to make improvements. So I've had certain orgasms that haven't been about pleasure at all. They've been about investigation.
Orgasms where you're investigating like what your sex toy does, because you actually have a sex toy with your name on it, I guess.
Yeah.
I have the copy of Interview right up here where you announce this whole thing. Can you tell us a little bit about your sex toy?
Well, there's nothing like it. There's nothing with that shape. So it's something that simulates the clitoris and the entrance of the vagina at the same time. So there's nothing that does that until now, and I've found that combination works just by using two toys. So at first I was like using two toys and with blue tack and then measuring the distance between the two, sending pictures of this concoction of toys and blue tack and to the engineers, and they had like made a prototype, and I had to try a prototype with no vibration, imagine stuff, and then measure lots of things. So
wow. And so where do people buy your sex toy? What's it called?
Oh, Venus.
Oh, Venus. Oh, just the letter O,
Oh,
I assume?
God. Oh, yes. Oh, Venus. Yeah.
Okay. Just the letter O or O-H-O?
O, because it's like the big O is an orgasm as well. So, yeah.
Great. And where can people buy it?
On my website, but also it's in lots of countries now.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us what your website is?
VenusO'Hara.org.
VenusO'Hara.org. All right. Well, I'll make sure that's on the screen here so that people can check out VenusO'Hara.org and maybe buy a sex toy for themselves or their significant other or friend or whatever. Sounds good. Do you have any favorite sexy expressions or words in Spanish?
Morbo.
Morbo.
It's a word. I mean, there's no proper translation for it in English. So, and I wrote an article about this called El Castellano en la Cama, all about my experience of Spanish in bed. And that was my first article for El País. And I remember one of my first times with a Spanish person, and they were saying, que morbo. And I was like, ooh, what does that mean? And it's like, how morbid. And I thought, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I was thinking also morbid. The first few times I heard that, I was thinking it was related to morbid, and morbid to me sounds like death.
Obesity or
morbid obesity,
death.
yeah. Yeah, it doesn't sound sexy at all. So you like it for that reason, I guess.
I found a good definition for it that was basically being attracted to something that you know that's bad for you. So that's the kind of like, it's it's like an attraction you can't explain.
Sounds good. Anything else for Castellano en la Cama?
That's my favorite word, but I'm just a big fan of the language in general. It really turns me on. I really like it.
Great, yeah.
But I still say, oh my God. I still speak English. I just want to give that exotic touch, you know.
And in the specific way that you say it, which is great.
Oh my God. Yeah, I like to remind people that I'm an English girl in a Spanish bed.
Great. I'm sure that goes over very well with your subjects out there. So do you have any other new projects besides the sex toys that you'd like to talk about?
I've got my fingers in lots of pies right now. So
that sounds kind of sexy too.
Yes, I'm hoping. I'm kind of person who prefers to wait until things are really like 1,000% official until I announce them officially. Okay. So yeah, I'm just trying to work on lots of different things right now.
But I've introduced your work and your social media accounts to a lot of my female friends. They all think you're amazing. They're always just like amazed by your willingness to actually talk about these topics, your willingness to like take pictures with 2 bananas in your mouth at the same time, for example. I think that picture is the best thing I've ever seen, probably. Oh,
cool. That's another thing of my mission actually for the next step now is really incorporating my lifestyle in my work. So it's about veganism and no filter, no alarm life. So I just want to be the whole package, basically. I want to share the whole package of me with the world, and being location independent and not following the script of life. And this is something I'm going to start talking about more in the future, in the near future. I'm not a mother. I'm not thinking about being a mother. I'm not a wife. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have any debt.
That's great, because I never talk about most of these things, but
I think more people should, though. I definitely think that it's helpful.
Yeah, like, because on the face, I'm like boring grammar guy, and there's so much more going on behind the scenes. It could be much more interesting than boring grammar guy, but I just feel like I've got these, tens of thousands of people expecting grammar, and I don't want to talk to them necessarily about fitness, because they might just be like, what's grammar guy doing talking about fitness? But yeah, maybe you're right. If that works out for you, that would be awesome, and it would definitely inspire me and probably other bloggers out there to just like take the leap into more lifestyle-y type stuff.
Yeah, because there's a really big influence in that on sexuality. I think self-care and self-love are very related. I mean, it's completely against what we see in porn, which is, unsafe sex and like, where it's all about pleasing the man and whatever. And I just want to, and imagery that you just not suitable for work, whatever. Well, I think mine is not so shocking. My website, or
No.
there's nothing. It's quite humorous as well, tongue in cheek, and I want to present sexuality as part of lifestyle and healthy lifestyle, because it is. I mean, sex is life.
Yeah. No, and you've talked about veganism a lot too. Like 3/4 of the times that I open up Twitter, it's like a picture of you with a pineapple over your.
Well, and that's another reason, because I think vegans are so annoying, and I think it's a huge mistake.
You think that too?
Well, I think it's a big mistake, because I understand all the anger or the frustration, because that's how I feel as well. But I think it's more intelligent to use humor. To encourage people to eat more fruit and veg cannot be a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the first step would be flexitarianism, and getting people to reduce their meat consumption would be the first hurdle. And then when you see how good you feel, and just maybe eating just at the weekend or something like that, that's what I would encourage people to do. But just trying to like say, you got to go vegan 100%. It's not easy for everyone. It's not easy when you travel. It's just,
Yeah.
it is hard.
Yeah, and
No wish society was more vegan friendly as well, but
yeah. And trying to guilt people into accepting your point of view is generally not a great strategy.
yeah. And also, I consider myself a feminist, but you won't see me putting angry feminist tweets on Twitter or anywhere.
Very true.
Vegan stuff. I just want to do everything that I do in a pleasant way, even though I do have the same concerns as everyone else, or the same frustrations, whatever.
No, because I consider myself a feminist too. I just find a lot of feminists to be rather unpleasant about the whole thing, in a way that makes me just kind of naturally want to agree with them less. So can you give?
Well, yeah, it excludes people in the end.
Yeah, it's just like I can only hear like about how I'm the enemy a certain number of times before I feel like, well, maybe I am the enemy, and maybe I should be hostile to these ideas. And I try not to, but it just seems like the more aggressive and the more unpleasant that people get with any ideology, the more it's going to create the opposite reaction in other people. So I think, it is important to try to be pleasant to the extent that you can with your ideas, because it's just so much easier to attract people to your side if you're being pleasant about it. Can you give me an example of pleasant feminism?
Just the raising orgasmic awareness in general is definitely pleasant.
Oh yeah, I would assume so. You were telling me something about your morning routine, which involves orgasmic awareness and mindfulness.
Mindfulness and masturbation.
Mindfulness and masturbation.
Yeah.
That's great. And you do this every morning?
Yeah. No, well, most mornings, yeah. So it's fantastic. Sometimes it depends on the order. The order doesn't change how relaxed I get, which is quite interesting. And I just find that's a really nice way to wake up.
Can you tell me
by doing
about
some
your
deep breathing,
practice?
abdominal breathing, about 15 minutes.
Abdominal breathing is your mindfulness practice?
Yeah.
Just kind of a standard, like, connected breathing type thing?
Yeah, just 4 seconds in, hold, and 4 seconds out, just something like that. But I've got down to 3 breaths per minute, so that's very, very calm. when I first started this, I was at maybe 5 or 6 breaths per minute. So I've made a lot of progress, and I've just learned from this progress that I'm in control of my emotions, and that's how powerful breathing is.
Oh yeah.
So I do that and then another thing that's really powerful about it is that when you're only having 3 or 4 breaths per minute, then when you just think, oh, I've done enough now, you think, oh my God, I've done 15 minutes. So it's just gone like this. And
4 breaths a minute is, 5 seconds in, 5 second hold, 5 seconds out, or?
I wasn't accounting it to be that, but I was just like doing what felt natural, making it as slow as I could.
Great, yeah. Like, I hardly ever talk about Buddhism, but I've been a Buddhist forever. And, Buddhism is great, but probably just going straight to the breathing and skipping over the Dharma is more effective for most people. Because most people just don't want to hear about, something that probably didn't happen 2,500 years ago in India. But if you can just teach them the breathing exercises, it can really, get them into the present moment more than, reading sutras or something. So,
orgasm is a great way to connect with your body, I think.
Orgasm.
Yeah.
That's your thing. Orgasmic awareness. Well, I'd like to thank you very much for being on my YouTube channel, or, me for being on your YouTube channel, possibly. And is there anywhere else that people can find you? Online, on social media, in the real world?
Just at Venus O'Hara on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
Great. You have a favorite social network where it's best for people to follow you?
I'd say Twitter's my most complete sharing experience. So I put my good mornings there every morning, no filter. So you get a picture with some fruit sometimes.
yeah, that's the ones that I usually see, I think.
It's everything I do, I share on Twitter.
Okay, well, great. So that is
everything I do, because I'm quite shy with Twitter. Sometimes I don't even know what to put on there. I was like, here, this is what I've just written.
Great. So that's at Venus O'Hara on different social networks, all the social networks, I assume, all of the relevant social networks. I don't know, thank you very much for taking the time to interview with me, and I wish you the best of luck with all of your future mysterious projects and things like that. Best of luck with your sex toy, and yeah, with everything.
We'll raise lots of orgasmic awareness.
Raise orgasmic awareness. Any famous last words?
No, that's it. No, keep coming.
Keep coming. Okay, everybody keep coming. Sounds great. Well, thank you very much, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.